Hey everybody, this is Mr. McKee again with Net 125. Today I'll be going over Packet Tracer 13.2.6, which is verify IP version 4 and IP version 6 addressing. Notice I've marked here this packet contains 16 questions to answer, and also you need to, I haven't looked at it yet, but you'll probably need to put these addresses in. Let me format painter this real quick. So that and these. Painter that, format painter these. Alright, there we go. Alright, make these red. Alright, so we're good. So we got our addressing table. We got 3 routers. Looking up here, 3 router-to-router connections. Alright, notice we got IP version 4 addresses. Got a backslash 27 there on the left, 2 backslash 30s, and now 28. Alright. Also we have IP version 6 addresses, and notice the first quartets are our network, because 64 is our prefix 64, so each of these are 16 bits, so 16, 32, 48, and 64. Alright, we have, that's a different network, a dot. I'm just gonna say a :2 network. This is a :3 network. Alright. So that's gonna be the network address. Notice there is, after the final colon, there is no number. So that's just denoting the 0 is just truncated off. So that's denoting a network. Alright, and also here. So 4 networks. Both IP version 4 and IP version 6 addresses. Alright, down here, notice all the routers have their addressing. PCs do not. Okay, so dual stack allows IP version 4 and IP version 6 to coexist on the same network. In this activity, you will investigate a dual stack implementation, including documenting the IP version 4 and IP version 6 configuration for end devices, meaning the PCs, testing connectivity for both IP version 4 and IP version 6 using ping, and tracing the path from end to end for IP version 4 and IP version 6. Complete the addressing table documentation. Now, since this is a 7-week semester, it's kind of weird. I've taken off the 2 packet tracers that run after this one, so just know that if you haven't looked at Moodle lately, I just sent a note out about that, so I'll be doing those. I don't know which one of those are better, but they're a lot of the same stuff, but I picked this one. Alright, so first thing, use IP config to verify IP4 version 4 addressing. Click PC1 and open the command prompt. Like so. Enter ipconfig all. Alright, that shows all my IP addressing. Notice IP version 6, IP version 4, and let's look. Alright, looking at the first quartets on this IP version 6 address. Notice they are the same. And it's starting with the A address. Okay, so that looks okay so far. IP version 4 is 10.10.1.100. Just looking at it, I know that's on the correct address. Well, I know the IP version 6 address is in there too. Is on the correct address. Default gateway 10.10.1.97. That's the first usable host address on this network. So I'm assuming that's good. Let's see. Fill in the addressing table with the IP address version 4 address, subnet mask, and default gateway. Oh, I couldn't get that out. Alright, and the way they did it was they did, I'm going to copy this. They did this first. Paste that. What did they do? They did the subnet mask. Copy that. And notice I'm doing this on my Word document, not on my activity window, because that wouldn't let me put that in there. Default gateway, I can put that. All right, 224. Underneath, I'm going to have the IP version 6 address. Copy that, like so. All right, and that is a, just to be correct, let's do /64. All right, and the link local address, that'll be our this will be our link local subnet. So let's do it like that. Paste. All right, so that's good. All right, click PC2 in the command prompt. Enter ipconfig, like so. And looking at IP version 6 addressing, especially when you're new to it, notice how the physical address, which is the MAC address, it's a 48-bit address. It's in hexadecimal also, just like an IP version 6 address. But notice how, all right, like the link local address, all right, that's FE80. And notice how the 60, 70, all right, which is right there, they put FFFE, and then 34, 69, 30. All right, so notice how that is created. Not really calculated, but created in this case. All right, so it wants our IP version 6 address. Nope, and I can't copy it like that. I gotta do link local. Actually, let's do this one first. Let's do the IP version 4 address and the subnet mask. Paste that. Let's do the. Oh, did I messed the first one up, didn't I? Default gateway is definitely not that. Let's go back to PC1. All right, default gateway is right here. Copy that. All right, that looks better. All right, 97, that's this interface, so that looks correct. That subnet matches that. This subnet matches, or this IP address matches that IP address. This one doesn't say FE80, but thank you. All right, so let's go with that for now. All right, back to PC2. All right, so the default gateway is right here. Paste that, and I could just do Control V also, but let's see. PC2 is going to be connected to S2 or R3. So that interface is the same thing as this default gateway, right? .240, so that's right. Now the IP address, come on, copy that, paste that. All right, and it is a /64. All right, in a default gateway, it's right here. And it doesn't actually note that up there. Maybe it'll tell us to put that in, but we can put in the link local default gateways too for those two routers. All right, so we've done that. We've gone here, fill in the addressing table information. All right, use IPv6 config to verify IP version 6 addressing. On PC1, enter the IP. All right, so let's do that. 6 config. All right, notice that shows us the same stuff. I actually entered it from the same, all from just the IP version 4, IP config all, but that'll give you just the information up there. All right, so that's fine. Same thing over here. IP6 config call. Whoops. IPv6. All right, and don't worry about this Bluetooth connection. We're not really worried about that. All right, but link local address, IP version 6 address, default gateway. All right, so that's that. All right, so we filled in that. Fill in, and when I put the answers right here, as long as you put what I did right there up in the addressing table, that's fine. That's where it's supposed to go. Okay. So test connectivity using ping. Use ping to verify IPv4 connectivity. Ping from PC1, ping PC2. All right, look at our addressing table. So ping 10.10.1.20. All right. First request timed out while I was doing ARP translation. That's fine. All right, and if we do it again, it already knows that, so that's fine. All right, was it successful? You guys should be able to answer that from what I just did. All right, from PC2, ping PC1. Starting to recognize a pattern here. All right, ping PC1 is 10.10.1.100. All right. So we got responses both ways. Now, in real life, though, if they were blocking ICMP packets on one of these computers, you wouldn't get a response, but you'd have physical connection. But you might be able to ping somebody, but they can't ping you if you have that port blocked. Just realize that. I believe server 2016 by default it's actually turned off in the firewall, so you have to turn it on before you can get ICMP to go through. All right. And actually, if you do Wireshark, you can see the packet coming in. It's just discarded. So it kind of tells you, and it takes a while to troubleshoot that why that's happening until you do Wireshark because you think you don't have physical connectivity. You actually do. It's just not. It's not. The packet's getting there. It's just not responding with a response. All right. So that's that. All right. Use ping to verify IP connectivity, IPv6 connectivity. All right. So. And I don't ping a lot of IPv6 addresses. So ping the IPv6 address for PC2. So PC2 is where this. I might have to do this a couple times because I might have it incorrect. Alright, so take off the \64. I was figuring that was the case. Alright, so I'm pinging 201 db8 14a and just verify. Okay, that's PC2. Sometimes it's confusing, but just look. The first 4 quartets are end in 4 in this case. So I'm definitely pinging, because sometimes you might ping yourself and think it's a remote host, but in this case I am pinging a remote host. Alright, so that was successful. Alright, on PC2, enter same thing. No, I'm sorry, I'm on the wrong stuff. Alright, from PC2, ping PC1. Alright, so PC1, and I'm going to take off the prefix because it doesn't understand it. Control C. Alright, so ping, paste, take off the \64. Alright, we're getting responses. Just like I said before though, make sure you're actually getting a response from that remote host. Alright, it's a 1::A, so 1::0 is this network, so it's on the same network. Alright, so we're good there. Let's keep going. Discover a path by tracing the route. Use Traceroute to discover the IPv4 path. From PC1, Traceroute to PC2. Alright, so this is pretty cool because we're using Traceroute. Because we have multiple hops here, multiple servers, or not servers, through routers. Not to say you can't use a router as a server as a router, but in this case they're physically routers. Alright. 10.10.1.20. Okay, so notice the trace route. It started out here. It hit our default gateway, which is 97. And actually, if we look up here, it went 97 to 5. So it hit here, and then it hit, where is it at? 1.5. It went here, and then it didn't respond here. It went here, then it went here, and it should have went here next. So R3, all right. Yep. So it hit R3's serial 001, and if I mouse over it, 001 and 000. All right, R2 000. And then finally, if I can get back to it, .20 is PC2. All right. So it doesn't show itself. It shows your 3 hops. Then your 4th hop is the remote host that you're trying to talk to. All right, so we did good there. All right, where are we at? We're down here. All right, so from PCU, we pinged PC2 for PC1. What addresses were encountered along the path? I just showed you guys that. With which interfaces are the 4 addresses associated? I showed you guys that. All right. All right, from PC2, Traceroute to PC1. All right, so trace, and it's actually TraceRT, not Traceroute, unless you're doing like Linux. All right, so Traceroute PC1 is 10.10.1.100. Right now, notice, just to verify, this should be our default gateway coming out of PC2. R3's gigabit 00 is 17. Right, that makes sense. So it hit here, and then the next hop should be right there. R2's serial 001. All right, so that's right. And then it should hit here, which that's R1 serial 001, which is .6. Yep, right there. And then finally 1.100, which is PC1. All right, so we're good there. And as long as I can find my place, all right, so we pinged from PC2 traceroute to PC1. What addresses are encountered? I just showed you guys that. With which interfaces are the 4 addresses associated? I showed you guys that. All right. And what's good to know about that? Know that like it's not. I guess when I started out, I was thinking that it should ping every single interface it talks to, but no, it just jumps to the next. If it's not in this local network, it just jumps to the next hop, which is the next default gateway of the, well, not in all cases, but the next hop to get out of this network would be, don't go back the way you came, but go out the next interface. All right, because you could have a whole bunch of different computers inside of this network, possibly. I know it's not going to be the case in backslash 30, but it just keeps going out. It's like, all right, I'm not part of that network. I'm going to keep going. All right, so we did that. So step 2, use Traceroute to discover the IPv6 path from PC1 Traceroute to IPv6 address for PC2. All right, so and it's telling us that address. I'm kind of like going to make sure that's correct though. Traceroute is 4:A. 4:A, that is root, right? And more than likely, we got to leave off the prefix. So let me paste that in there. All right, so let's see what happened that time. Now, assuming the same thing is going on this time, this should be our default gateway, and this should be our next hops. Notice how the networks, these look really similar, but that's the network. All right, and that's the first address in the network, first usable address in the network, and the second usable address in the network, and finally the remote host. So let's verify that that's the case. We're starting from here. We should be hitting R1's gigabit, which is that one. Notice no prefixes on there, that's fine. All right, we're hitting there, and then we're hitting R2. It's serial 000, which is, my phone's ringing, but I'm not going to answer it. All right, let's see, 1.2 of R2. All right, so right there, 2:1, that's fine. Next thing it should hit is this one, serial 001 of R3, which is 3:2. All right, notice that. All right, and finally the IPv6 address for PC2, which is 4:A. All right, so that's fine. All right, so we're good there. And which addresses were encountered, showed you guys that. With which interfaces are the 4 addresses associated, I showed you guys that. All right, and finally, you probably figured we're going to ping back from PC2 to PC1. All right, so And I keep saying ping, traceroute. All right, we're tracerouting. All right, to PC1. And PC1 is this. All right, so this should be our default gateway, next hop, and finally our destination address. So 1:4:1 is R3's gigabit 00, 1:4:1, that's right. The next one, we're hitting there, and then we're hitting here, R2 serial 001, which is 3:1. That looks good. The next one will be R1's serial 001. All right, so 1:2:2. All right, there. And finally, let's see if we're hitting 1:1:A. Yep. So it's dual stack. We're running IPv4 and IPv6 on the network. Everything pings together, so everything's working. All right. So pretty much on this, make sure you answer all these questions. Come up to here. All right, for part 2, and then part 1. All those answers just need to be filled out in here. All right. Like so. All right, but that's it. Thanks for watching. Pretty quick video. And remember the following 2 packet tracers. I don't even know which ones they are right off the top of my head, but I'm not assigning those just because we're running on a 1 week shorter schedule than normal. All right, but don't worry, I am going to be going over all that when I review for the final exam. So you'll still get the information, and I'll still probably go over those the presentations for all those what do they call them, modules? Is it a module or is it a chapter? I always get confused. It really doesn't say. But anyways, that's it. Thanks for watching.